welcome, and welcome to the Sixdawg Fan Forum. Today's segment, I'm going to sit down with you and we're going to reminisce about some old times. It's going to be from my point of view, so, it's not anyone from the band, so it's not an official, it's just an unofficial, so, but yeah, that's what we're going to do. So if you feel like it, join us. If not, it's not going to be any new info or anything like that. So, but yeah, just that's it, and hopefully you'll join us. See you then.
Tell me what you think about me. I won't try to argue or hold it against you. I know that you're leaving. You must have your reasons. The season is calling. Your pictures are falling down.
And today on the Sixdawg Fan Forum, we're going to do something a little different. I'm actually going to reminisce with you about my memories of Sixdawg. This is going to be coming from the POV point of view of a fan, but also a friend, and someone who's kind of been with them since the very beginning. Obviously, it goes without saying that I'm a fan of Sixdawg. Otherwise, I wouldn't be running a group centered around the band, or going out of my way, kind of like trying to provide a little bit of entertainment while they're on their downtime, while they're not actually doing music. Now, for me to reminisce with you, I got two things ready. I got my little glass of whiskey here. Oh, yeah, that's it. That'll do the trick. And I'm gonna have a cigar, because I figure this is what people do when they relax. This is what I do when I relax. And it's not gonna be fan forum official, like where it's informal. So I'm gonna be spitballing here. I'm gonna be talking off the cuff. I'm probably gonna be wrong about a lot of stuff. My memory is a little foggy. I'm starting to have those senior moments, as they say. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back all the way to 1989. This is way before Sixdawg even came about, but I remember as a young teenager, maybe pre-adolescent teenager, first getting into metal altogether. That I can thank my friend Keith, introducing me to a few different bands, and so basically, that actually goes back earlier than that, but I'm just giving you a starting point. So around that time, we're hanging out, and used to watch the public access for Rochelle, and they had a band, I think it was called Arachnid, and they would be playing, and they'd be playing right there on the public access, and we're like, wow, that's cool, it's like, here's this band, they're playing heavy metal, and like, obviously it's not on the main TV screens then, now it could be argued that it's a little bit more, accepted and whatever, but back then it was kind of like, ooh, the devil's music, and you had people like Geraldo Rivera and things like that at that time. I mean, it was like kind of after that time, actually. It's like the tail end of that, and just before kind of like grunge really hit, it was like kind of got into it as like at the tail end of its popularity going into the 90s, before grunge and alternative rock and everything took hold. Okay, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so we'd see Arachnid, and I remember they used to have Matt O'Shaughnessy on the Midnight Metal on Saturdays. They had that club, what was it, Streets, in their show, called Chinese Kenny. They'd like call up and be like, yeah, we want to hear this song or whatever. We're like, oh, well, we're not going to play that band. Whatever. Anyway, just giving you a little bit background. All right. So, so basically, as you know, or may not know, Keith is one of the founding members of Sixdawg. It was Keith, and I would say Akil, Keith, and there were bands before that they had played in, but I don't know if they had played together in a band before Sixdawg. My memory's a little hazy on that. They may have. I know Keith played in a band with Dave, this kid Dave from Yonkers. They played a show at Sacred Heart. Covered I remember they covered Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of. They had a few songs that they did. I think they had like one or two songs that they actually wrote. And this is taking it back. They also played, I don't know if it was under the heading of Conquest or what the name of the band was, but they also played the Scarsdale Pool with, I believe it may have been Brick, or it may have been another band. I don't know who was playing drums with them at that time, but I do remember that they did play a show there. Again, I'm like really kind of like mining my memory here, trying to remember what exactly transpired, but I do know that these things did happen. Just the when and where is possibly a little bit off. Anyway, so by the time Sixdawg is formed, there's been like bunch of lineup changes. I think one of the first shows was at the Lowdown, possibly, and it may have been opening up for Brick. May or may not have. I'm actually probably going to revisit a bunch of these things that I'm going on about and ask Keith the actual answer, because the man has a memory like a steel trap. Me, well, let's just say, my memory, I'm lucky I have a memory. Because the way I lived life back then, I guess. So, one of the things that I actually did, or was kind of instrumental in for Sixdawg, was finding their bassist, or helping them find their bassist. Through interpersonal relationships I had at the time, had met Paul, and I introduced Paul to Keith, and I have to give a shout out to my good friend Nikki for that, because they were very instrumental, and if it wasn't for them, that would never have happened. We would not have had the great Buddha Paul in Sixdawg. So that's definitely a shout out to them for that great contribution to the band. So, I'm just gonna, they know who you are, and everyone knows, relationship, to me, and whatever back then, friends, family, it's all under a cloud, as they say. But so I remember there was a show at Blackthorn, and I think that's when Paul had that orange kind of like almost like that, had that Demolition Man type looking, like Wesley Snipes type look from Demolition Man thing going on with the 420 shirt. I remember the 420 shirt. Yeah. And you know, there was so many venues to play at, and things started really taking off from there. And you know, at that time, I'm not entirely sure who the guitarist was. It might have been Brian Roach. I know that after Brian, there was someone else that I can't remember their name, but something happened and the guitar went missing, and didn't end well. So I just, for the life of me, I cannot recall who that was. Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I know I'm kind of like just babbling here. Bear with me. I'm just trying to. I'm really off the cuff here. I was like totally unprepared. I just kind of did this on a whim. I tried to do this actually yesterday, and my son kept climbing up over me and just was not letting it happen. So, I mean, I did try to think of a little bit. I do remember that before Sixdawg, and we might even have like a segment or something where I might talk to Keith or whatever, like how things were before Sixdawg. How Sixdawg even came to be was like an amalgamation of all these kind of like steps that that band had gone through, and like the personnel changes and everything, to where it actually became Sixdawg. I mean, there was like this great battle of the bands in Mercer High School, and I mean, it was like, I mean, you couldn't script it better. I mean, it was like something out of a movie. I swear, it was great. People ended up leaving town. I mean, the tape is still locked up to this day. It was insane. There was a lot of insanity around that. You know, it was like, it's kind of cool thinking back on it, you know? I mean, you know, it's, I'm not, oh yeah, I'll say it. It was cool, alright? It was something cool that happened. I mean, you know, at the time, I'm like, oh, you know, but no. It was definitely called for, and it was appropriate because of the stuff that was going on. All right, it was not an overreaction, and we want that tape, sir. We want the tape. That's all I'm gonna say. It will be had one day. The tape will be had, one way or another. All right, Swag, do your thing, my friend. One of my friends does this swag magnet thing, and crazy stuff. If you get a chance, check it out. I don't know if those in the know, those not in the know. Not really Sixdawg related, so you know, I'm not going to go too much into it, but maybe Keith will. I'll let him decide. But anyway, so I mean, all these things were integral, and I mean, like, just like memories, like going to like Untermeyer Park, like the middle of the night, crazy shit that happened there, and just, yeah, you know, being part of the Westchester scene at that time, it was like, it was great. It was really, really great. I mean, I had good friends, you know, it was like a freedom, there was like a, I don't know, it was like an electric vibe in the air, so to speak. It was very, looking back, I mean, like, you know, so some days were dark. Don't get me wrong, there were some pretty dark days, especially in the 90s, maybe towards the end of the 90s. Things were a little, I don't know, a little grim. You know, a little gloom and doom there for a little bit. But, I mean, aside from that, it was was pretty good looking back on it. And yeah, I'm sure you guys remember Shakers. You remember, the 401, CBGBs, the Spiral, Continental High, the Orange Bear, Wetlands. All those. Well, I don't even know if if some of them are even open. Probably closed, especially after this pandemic. I mean, it's like this is like the stake in the heart for like live music. This freaking pandemic. I don't know if that's accidental or if that's I don't know. I'm not gonna wax conspiratorial with that, but a little less what do I say? Innovation, a little less creativity in the world because of it. Music is like the language of creativity. At least I think so. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and well, that's my opinion. But yeah, I actually was hoping to have had like a segment with someone this month, but it's hard. This pandemic is really no joke. It's really hard to like get a hold of people. It's hard to do things, man. It's like hard to go out. Like you go out and it's like everything's like and then you go you start walking into a store. You're like, I gotta go back to the car, get my mask, and like you don't have the mask. I went to take the elevator. I took it down one floor the other day. The lady's like, oh, he only took the elevator one floor and this and that. And I was like, yeah, okay. So what? That's what the elevator's for. It's to ride the elevator. It's like, it wasn't packed like 50 people in there. It was like 2 other people. Anyway, I'm getting a little off point here, but look, I can tell you this. I have spoken with Keith. I've spoken to a few people, and Sixdawg is very much alive and well, and there is stuff being planned. It's just a matter of when it's allowed and things will be let to happen. But there are other ideas in the works too, because up in Westchester, like especially upstate or whatever, they do have some venues where I don't know how it is with the music or the live music or whatever, but I do know that you can go inside. You can like sit down and like they have sit down dining. As long as it's like that's spaced out. Everyone's spaced apart from each other, and you're wearing the mask and all that. I mean, so there might be something sooner rather than later, but yeah. All right, listen. I know I've been kind of rambling on. I don't want to go. What am I at? 17 minutes now. Jesus. Surprised I lasted that long. All right, so listen, I'm going to close with a thought for you. Your memories and your youth, they were you. Maybe not now, but then. But if you weren't who you were then, you would never be the person you're meant to be now. So I don't know what everyone's gone through, but I guess if you look at it that way, everything kind of like makes sense and it ties together. So with that, I'm gonna leave you with basically a wish of good health, wellness. I hope you're making do with the time that's available to you. If you're a creative person, now is the time to like be writing that book or writing those songs or writing down that music or painting that artwork or all the stuff you might not have the free time to do all the other times. I mean, me, I've been working the whole time, regardless. So it's like it hasn't really changed my routine all that much, but I mean, I know there's some people that it has, and you know, it can be rough. It can be rough. Just this, it's like such a dynamic, like changing. It's like night and day. It's like almost like someone turned the world off, and when is it going to get turned back on? I don't know. This might be it. You know, but if it is, we'll find a way to muddle through, as we always do. And remember, Sixdawg was, Sixdawg is, and Sixdawg will forever be. So don't ever doubt that, and I hope you will join me and the rest of Sixdawg at the next Sixdawg show, and I hope you'll tune in next time to the next edition of the Sixdawg Fan Forum. My name is Sean T. Prophet, and I bid you a good night, a good week, and a good year, or rest of the year ahead. Hopefully this 2020 will be over and we can go into 2021 better and stronger for it. Alright. Take care. Tune in next time to the Sixdawg Fan Forum, when I hope to have an extra special guest. I'll be able to sit down and talk about the olden days, about Sixdawg, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.